area, so not likely to happen, and there it is. So even though I kind of messed up, you know, missed the fact that there's an Azir, a lot of very consistent AP damage coming from the mid lane, they still lock in more AP for the top side of the map because it's such a good matchup.
That happened as well, so sad times, but at least getting the lane control that you're supposed to get with Varus and Poppy into the Rakan lane is a bit of a 3v3 though.
Yeah, or it's just a 1v1 and then a 2v2 as now they're looking to try and turn it onto Smash. That is the kill going over though as Smash does go down. Carrier unable to get in front or stop anything there as the flash from Owner and he cannot follow Raptor as Faker goes in and will be able to finish off the doggo. A little bit aggressive to then go variety of Varus, but Diablo is playing up so incredibly far. That is a brilliant flick here from Vikla as Raptor just immunes the Emperor's Divide and Faker having to deal with a big old wall and he has no flash, he has no way out, and that is... Prior to first stand, we thought that this might be the worst team in the LCK.
Yeah, and we also thought it might be like one of the worst teams like that we've seen in several years, but it is really turned around.
We know what this player can do. Kellen's an example of that, right? Where it felt like he kind of had his shot and blew it. But now he's kind of trying to reinvent himself. Clear as well, his debut in the LCK wasn't what we wanted out of this player that was so good in challenge. Just frontlining, trying to stop Carrier from being able to do anything. He flashes, will be able to charm up the Varus, but where's the follow-up? The Cask will come in, but it gets Diablo to relative safety. Now he's trying to get some auto attacks across as now Owner goes in. Does have the safety of the Crescent Guard as Carrier dives forward once again. These health bars are so low and Smash is now on the board. There is the pickup as Clear dives in, and he's gonna have to get immediately back out. There's the T1 team fighting, and I think we're gonna...
Probably seen here, yeah, Carrier's tracking him.
And Carrier is gonna find him. Steadfast Presence gonna come on over as he just bonks the Rakan away, but Kellen's gonna have to do a little bit more to escape this one, and in order to escape, he decides the Death Chamber. He's looking to come round. Let's see what is actually going to eventuate as here Vikla and Faker are fighting, and Vikla getting the best end of it at this point in time. Raptor thinking about rotating over as the Dragon's up as well. There are plenty of objectives to go for, but there are feats of strength going over to BNK as first turret goes down. Second is soon to follow. It's Faker also going down extraordinarily low and taken out here by Vikla.
One up. Faker's rotating down, does have teleport as well, but doesn't look like he's going to need it.
Yeah, Raptor gets in as, all right, Smash going to be evicted from the fight. But it should be back relatively quickly here, so Keeper's Verdict not really finding the value that they really want. It looks like T1 with control of this at the moment. Raptor gonna have to get out, and Carrier still holding onto the quickness. BNK, I think intelligently, just playing for the side lane. Clear gonna be able to take down this turret. And they lose the third Drake. That is Soul Point.
By the way, in trade for a Herald, and BNK are very late to respond. TP coming over. I don't know if T1 could stick this, but they at least get a TP out. Doran, though, has to match.
Yep, there are teleports coming in from everywhere as Kellen doesn't have his ulti up. Finds a heroic charge, though, onto Carrier, trying to get him out of there as it is going to be the Otacon. Secured by the Xin Zhao. And he's also trying to take down Raptor on the back end, who gets a whole bunch of health back. And they're just sending them home as quickly as possible. Smash right in there, but Kellen finds the heroic charge. It's just not quite enough as Vikla with a big old shield is going to say goodbye, Mr. Smash. And there's a seismic shove. Good sidestep from Doran, but that's a turret, buddy. That ain't going to work. And Diablo's like, I got Shelly, and I'm going to take her for a walk.
Diablo wasn't there for the whole fight. And it ended up being a big boon for them in the end because he gets the full extra crash into the inner. So much turret gold going over to BNK. Faker looking for the punish, and he will be successful. But it feels early, and then Doran just sits under turret. Is over here, Doran again.
In the meantime, Diablo is going to get cast in, and now Raptor in a bit of trouble as well as T1 like a freight train moving down this mid lane. Just not quite enough to get them any more than the kill onto Vikla and onto Kellen.
Can they
trade it? I think we missed one of those.
Can they trade it for an inner? Looks like the answer is yes. There's just no
Six grubs, Wolf. Yeah. 6 grubs.
These Fakers down here doing some damage to this one, and I don't think Vikla can clear this wave fast enough, so they will still pick that one up. It's a big old trade of turrets, but because this Jax has 6 grubs, because
they get auto attacks down, and they without just being, you know, caved in on by T1. As in goes Raptor looking for an angle. There's that Keeper's Verdict we were talking about, but it will be cancelled. Counter-strike onto Carrier, who does have the quickness running, but he's on the Steadfast Presence at the moment. Doran finds the angle, but he's going to immediately get heroic charge. Goes Golden, trying to stay alive as Faker on the flank. He's able to lock down the doggo, but look at Diablo popping off, going nuts in the back line, and
He
Smash
rolls here. Kellen's so low on health. Finally, a TP comes through here for Clear as we are really turning this into an extended fight.
This is going to be a 5v4 though. It's in goes Kellen before anyone even arrives, and the seismic shove so good. Smash locked down, and now Faker realizing that he has to make the master play. He takes down the Poppy, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as Raptor. He is going in. The bleed not quite going to be enough as Ona is still there. I think
But BNK really running away with this one in a lot of ways here. It's not over by any means.
Okay.
Faker does have an arm guard for this fight. And
They're going to get spotted, but he flashes on top of Smash. Raptor going untargetable, flashes on in as well. Smash going down low, but he's not dead just yet. It's only Kellen that's caught up to him and needs another auto to be able to take him down. There's the cue to finally find it. The rest of BNK trying to dive on top of Faker as it's a 1-for-1, but support for AD Carry. I think BNK would take it unless they can kill Clear, who finally finds himself out of position. Seismic shove as also Doran's in trouble, but he has the Zhonyas to keep himself at least alive for now.
Faker used his teleport so he can't back and TP back. I think they're very aware of that. They're just going to stick this dragon, take it out here. T1 can't contest. And when Smash is dead and Faker's your only damage, he's sitting at 1/3 health. It's just so hard to play out anything here for T1. And two dragons back to back do go the way of BNK. Not a big enough.
Arcane Shift invested, but we'll have that one back as well.
It's just such an incredibly hard composition to lock down with a wall or with anything, with how mobile it is.
Yeah, you really have to have a follow-up after the attempted engage if you want to get anything done. Level 16 here for Smash. That True Shot Barrage starting to hurt. There it is onto Vikla. Fair bit of damage there. The backline goes Carrier Vikla in so much trouble, but he has the Seraph Shield, and he's able to weather the storm. Now Clear getting solo altered from Faker, and Clear still wanting to find the angle. They get on top of Smash yet again. They'll trade the Jax for him this time, although they don't finish off the Ezreal. Chains of Corruption doesn't land as well as Diablo. He's gonna have to find Doran. There's the hail of arrows, and he's gonna need to stand his ground, and it does not work. He flashes, trying to get out. He kills Faker, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen?
This fight actually looks really good here for BNK, but they try to link up with Clear and over-chase a little bit here into the pit. Vikla so incredibly low. Faker, you were like, I've got enough damage items, you know?
Yep.
Defensive sounds good.
Let's try and keep ourselves healthy. There's a flash in from Kellen once again. And Smash finds himself in trouble. Clear getting into the backline. Faker goes golden, but it means he can't help. Still, Vikla's gonna get taken out. Raptor diving on top of the Azir, but Faker's just gonna kill him. The doggo's dead. Down goes the Rakan, but that doesn't matter. T1 with Baron now have got 4 on the floor, and it's only Clear that can try and help out, and Doran's even gonna deal with that problem. Using that Zhonya's just because he can.
Faker still has Baron buff, of course, so he's just going to TP bottom. They're trying to turn this into a double inhibitor play here, potentially. I think maybe just go mid, and they just realize that's probably the better play, because there's 30 seconds left on both of these damage dealers. This game looks like it's about to end as Doran's denying Clear from returning home, and I think T1 have done it.
Yep, T1. I think, you know, it was a difficult scenario throughout most of this game as Clear is going to miss the flash and then just says, well, the game is over anyway. The Nexus will get taken down. And T1, they're going to be able to do it, but not before BNK really...
Because Renata is so incredibly strong into... Like, you could basically guarantee that her ult is going to stop the advance of BNK in any scenario. It's not a traditional dive comp. It's not like a Vi, you know, hyper dive. It's not an Ahri comp that wants to...
Oh,
Raptor does not know. He's not a knower.
He is not a knower indeed. He immediately flashes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to get him to safety as he really wants to get on that blast cone, but it's not going to be him. It's going to be the flash from Ona that locks that one down, and they'll start off.
Fortunately for Raptor, there's just simply nothing he can do about it. Corki having Cryo in mid. Doran playing this matchup so far pretty well, looks like. We didn't watch how all the intricacies did happen, but maybe
level 3, and Doran is just going to get flashed on and murdered.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, crowd.
Have one of them.
Yeah. So better than they were doing in terms of grubs last game.
Yep.
Infinitely better.
Oh, God.
Looks like T1 are going to get this dragon. Oh man, it's worse than the Italian memes.
Oh, I'm
that
so
Chronicler keeps
secure his own Raptors. As Raptor is unable to get the Rash. Smash is in trouble. Some more autos coming through here from Diablo. He's going to need another one, but the bailout comes in. The handshake's down, but Diablo doesn't die. The flashing it out of the crash down here is Diablo makes the rain, and Carrier needs to try and find him in the fog of war. Diablo, can you get out of here? Because there's another crash down, and the bullet time comes in, the stun comes through as well, and Carrier will be able to get out. That's a beautiful U-turn done here as To The Skies goes clear, and Ona has to avoid the impale. It comes to the objectives as well, as T1 able to take the first dragon of the game.
I just don't see any contest here. As Oner's going to the bottom side of the map, try to look for a punish here. This is risky.
Yeah, as there's the bullet time just to try and clear out the wave. That's a great ulti from Ona, though, as the handshake comes in. Kellen trying to keep them at bay as Smash is in trouble. And that last auto, not quite enough. Oh my god, how did that work? It's the immediate.
Yeah. He pressed it so fast.
Meanwhile, here on the top side of the map, I don't think Ascana really cares about whether Gwen is immune or not. Just gonna poop her away from the turret, and Doran, no needlework's gonna save you from that. Not weathering the storm.
No,
this is the storm, like, destroying your house, and you not being in there when it goes to the Wizard of Oz.
He's even denying more farm here. He will get the turret after this. T1 grab another objective as
whoa, that's a flash in. Kellen's gonna come on over. He's not really helping out with damage, but there is Vikla in the area. That's a Glacial Prison, but the Magnet Storm comes through as well. Hostile Takeover doesn't connect onto the Rise, and so they just take out the Sejuani, and BNK just continuing to fight Doran for the moment as Ona looking to come in. They get into the mist alongside the Gwen, but Clear realizing he has to get out. That's a great hammer boot, but it's not quite going to be enough. Now committing to the fight as the ulti comes out from Carrier, and that spells the end of Clear. Permafrost as well is going to mean that Kellen is in the wrong place as well. And Faker, he's also just going back. He knows that T1 have won this one.
The target has been Doran, and that's the next turret they can take out there in the bottom lane if they get the pick onto him. Instead, it ends up being the gank to come through. But this should be mid going down unless...
Yep, that is a handshake being employed, but Raptor is just going to ride Shelly and shows her where to go, and she is going to be able to take down
on the map for T1.
Not to mention the fact that Smash is pretty far behind as well on that bottom side, 30 CS approximately.
Okay, Faker here maybe caught.
Yeah, Ona going to come in, just throws the ulti away, was expecting a Duke, and Clear just didn't do it. Still, he's going to die.
Okay, a second time. I actually thought that it was, in fact, Raptor who was in the bush. As Kellen's here.
Is it over? As the teleport out from Faker is going to get him to safety, and Ona doesn't have teleport, and so he is instead just going to die. It's going to take a little while because he's pretty tanky, but it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end. What this does, though, is provide space for Doran to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, he is still significantly behind, but this will help a little bit. He doesn't have any grubs really besides the one they have to be a real threat.
Yeah, this team has really evolved, and it's really impressive to watch. They're going to be able to deny the soul point as well. That was something that they weren't able to do last time, and now looking to continue this as they move into the inner turret on the bottom side. Raptor playing defense. They'll let the outer turret on the top side fall down, but that is the second turret from T1 to be taken. The BNK are down here, but look at all of this vision. Look at all of this control that they have. And the immediate turn as Raptor is going to get his hand shaken. There's the Magnet Storm, though. The bullet time to come in as well. As a two-man impale delivers Ona and Doran, but they're pretty tanky. Ona's burning down. The bailout not even required here to keep him alive as Vikla trying to get out, and he kills Smash and survives. Vikla, how the heck did that happen? As now T1 are all limping away from this battle. In fact, the health off, and that will keep him alive.
That was so scary with Ona and Smash's ults coming up.
The good old face check here as another Q goes wide. Let's see who's going to win this battle as Doran's running with scissors and Vikla is missing Qs. He does have the Seraphs, and that Q he lands. Still, arrow point blank is going to be able to do it.
T1 still didn't get any prio back. They still didn't get any deep vision.
Oh, handshake going to come through, but that is the two-man impale this time. The bullet time is going to work as Smash was shooting him, but it doesn't actually do anything. Ona goes down, Faker's dead as well, and BNK.
Dragon, Southside Otacon here next to the Dragon is going to be taken. T1 can't cross the Baron. They lost two members, and it's not even spawned. And now BNK
Otacon as well.
Yeah. And now BNK could just turn this into even more controllers. When you have this much control over the map, Skarner can just set up an MF combo at will. And maybe Smash can clean up house, because you got Faker on 80 carry here as well. He's got his LDR. Oh, no.
Raptor comes in. Little Miss Piggy going to be delivered here as Diablo looking for an angle. Hostile takeover doesn't connect onto the Misfortune, and the bailout is going to be there. Bullet time was more in celebration, but I just don't know whether they're going to be able to help out here. 4 versus 5
Ellen
is the advantage.
got the angle here with a flash.
Yep, Doran's in the mist right now. He does have the bailout, and Smash is already so close to dead. Going golden is Doran, surviving for a moment, but Faker gonna get knocked into the wall as Raptor is gonna push him out of the fight. There's Carrier going down. Doran follows and smashes on the wrong side of the map. The Baron is taken, and BNK, they are not losing 2 games in a row against T1 here today.
Not gonna happen. Kellen takes trying over the wall. The Realm Warp here is pretty short, but it's pretty clean as well. Faker just has to exit.
Kind of insane as well, the fact that Diablo and Vikla just like going together point blank into the enemy team, but they were so far ahead that it didn't even matter. To the Sky's going to get interrupted here, but I don't think Clear is too worried about it. Vikla now versus 3, but he's just running away. Phase Rush pretty powerful, and BNK will be able to take this inhibitor, but they're looking for even more. Doran doesn't have the needlework anymore. No more arrow, but there is...
Unless T1 make a mistake. Kellen on a nice angle.
Yeah, every button is up here for BNK, though, as far as these ultimates. That's Magnet Storm, Impale, Bullet Time. This is so dangerous for T1. Still, they have to try something. Glacial Prison going to be picked up by Diablo, and Smash almost dies from 2 ticks of the Bullet Time.
And Vikla is escorting this mid wave in, so I mean there's super minions with Baron buff coming into the T1 base. Second inhibitor is going to go down. They can just siege this if they want to. There's a ping going into the bottom lane though. Vikla is looking for the 3rd inhibitor now with the last minute of this Baron buff, and if T1 make a mistake, they just lose the game. Such a critical defense they need to have here.
Yep, 10,000 gold is the lead. Smash taken to half health. These shock blasts are so scary. As Diablo moves over, he's going to get to work on the last remaining inhibitor, and T1, nothing they can do to answer it. They're being pulled all around the rift. It's kind of beautifully played by BNK as far as their siege on the T1 base as the handshake comes in. Hostile takeover connects onto only the Skarner as Vikla going to be taken down. And now
But they still are alive here as Carrier's ult does kind of dissuade here. Vikla goes in a little bit deep. I think they could have waited for the minions.
Shock Blast does not do absolutely nothing. In fact, it just hits both carries.
The second time's the charm here on this inhibitor. Now they're all gone.
Yeah. And Clear still has his shield. Glacial Prison is just going to split the difference in BNK. And now Carrier, it's his turn to throw out the handshake. Faker half health from a few ticks of the Bullet Time. And they are just trying to poke them out underneath this turret. The double up, my God, he's hitting so many of those Qs. The hostile takeover does nothing. Doran trying to take down Raptor, but the Magnet Storm is so good. And the layering of the Impale. Doran goes golden, but this time the Zhonya's is doing absolutely nothing. The Nexus turrets are going to be taken down. The Nexus exposed, and once again, no team in the LCK for 2025 so far will take down BNK 2-0.
Not going
the snap lock in of the Zeri.
I like it for their comp. It's just going to be a little bit tricky to pilot in this game, but it's strong into Yorick. You know, Yorick never going to put Zeri in a donut. Pretty strong into the Lee Sin as well. It almost looked like Kellen messed it up. You know?
Yeah. Well, he's Hex Flashing now. Headbutt Pulp comes in. The guide is going to be cleansed, and first blood goes to Diablo. Make that another 2v. Who comes back, licking his wounds here with a cull in his back pocket. BF sword there. I've seen this play before, ladies and gentlemen. And Gumayushi, nothing he can do about it. No cleanse, no flash, no chance. Viego to move in.
Another wave means I think they can go ahead and commit to this dive.
There is a cow down here as well as, oh dear, Roar the Slayer going to slow them down as meanwhile the fight continues. Doran gonna have to flash away. Is the flash out from Clear as well, but Doran in so much trouble. It's Raptor that goes down first though, and Doran will survive.
Didn't have teleport at the time, but they ended up turning it into something as Vikla looking for an angle over the traps.
Yeah, manages to get the charm in onto Carrier, who is definitely going to be dead, but does Gumayushi go down as well? That's the question. The answer's no, as Raptor wanted to grab himself one. They are going to at least use the wild growth, but Carrier, he knows that he's dead, and it's going to be Raptor that eventually locks that kill down.
Vikla just passed the trap for Vikla. They're going to grab these grubs. As you mentioned, will be 3 for them to even it up.
Yep.
And, you know, the plays we're seeing, the rotations we're seeing, the communication between the squad makes them honestly look like the more well-coordinated team today, which is somewhat understandable.
Now Ona is just going to get headbutted out of the pit and just gets back in. Safeguards out, and that's what Lee Sin can do, because Yorick wants to spend his entire time in a side lane, and it makes this Jinx pick kind of awkward. As, speaking of side lanes, Doran is going to be in one. And it does put down the ghoulie wall. There's the knock-up. Flash actually has to be invested here as Raptor still looking for it. He flashes forward, doesn't get the stun, but he gets into melee range, and the Maiden not going to be enough to save him. Down to the bottom side.
I want to have one right now, but later on they have a lot of angles as Doran is once again under fire.
Into the baby cage. Still gonna get knocked up by the Scion. Raptor is tanking this turret for way too long, but still able to go untargetable. Takes down the Yorick, and now Faker's teleported in. 0 mana, but the gravity field is too good, and the Chaos Storm is better. Owner comes
just back away. Doran's gonna get a turret on the other side of the map, and you can see Guma channeling that back, looking for his second item here. I think this was absolutely the right call. Doesn't quite have as many times on the Jinx in the past, but if he gets charmed, if he gets caught, if he gets hit by the Alistar, if he's caught by a flank from clear, if he gets picked first, the team just falls apart.
Oh, Kellen has the headbutt back, and that's the charm delivery. The chain CC, gorgeous, as Raptor comes in.
That's mid-turret.
Yeah, and also they've got a Rift Herald, so Diablo will be able to finish this off. They get another charm on the inner turret, and BNK...
I think the Otacon is going to, in this case, be a more high value. Diablo's here.
Yeah, he's going to split them up as well as the ulti comes through. Diablo almost just dead by Faker. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. The knockup's down as well, but the wild growth is so good. Faker in melee range is not exactly where he wants to be.
And he's still doing this.
Is going to take him down.
He's still on this Otacon. I don't think he can do it alone, but man, he is holding it. He was hoping they were going to win that fight a little bit faster. Still going to hold the aggro here.
Yeah, Vikla turns up. And
yeah.
You saw Vikla was so animated in the player camps there as well, because they know they're losing things on the other side of the map. That is outer turret and inner turret on the top side. But Otacon is claimed. They're able to take
there, losing the Otacon. Dragon is still up as Guma in danger.
Yeah, Kellen knows that he's not on vision, has Hex Flash up and available. Still, Diablo able to push forward, and Gumushi not going to show himself, so no opportunity for the cow. Still, this inner turret in the mid lane going to be not long for the world, although these are two melee champions up against Faker, who does have a lot of range damage that they don't necessarily want to deal with, or do they? I think they're going to be able to take it.
I think looking back, but keep it leashed and still deal with the push in mid is just incredible. Like, the decision-making that has to go into that is a lot, and it's not something I thought going into today that BNK was capable of as Faker.
Yeah, there's a Hex Flash. The immediate answer from Carrier is good, but that's an ulti in trade for a Hex Flash. Or at least there is an ult coming out from Kellen as well. He's now looking to try and make something of it. As Diablo doing some work, Headbutt Pulverize, gets the cow in there. Another knock-up is Doran. He's going to get thrown back. And there's the first kill for the reset composition. BNK teleports on the map, but there's no anything to teleport to. As Kellen's going to come on over, he finds Owner, the headbutt brings him out, but it's Gumushi that's the target, and they come in from every angle. Faker teleports into his death, and now T1 are scattering. They have nowhere to go. The charm lands from Vikla. Owner's trying to safeguard his way out, but it's more like Dangerous Guard in this game as BNK leave only the blind man alive and look to beat T1 in their second match of week 3.
Like the blind man, they had no vision. They couldn't see anything, and it's the Zeri Ari engage onto the Jinx that they just didn't see coming. Guma felt like he was far enough away they could be doing Baron, they could be Inspiration, but it did not put him where he wanted to go, and now with no damage, it is just a fun house here for Diablo and for Vikla to clean up, and that goes straight to Baron. No defensive items. I mean, he's got Merc Treads, I'll give you that, but he's got to play so carefully here, trying to clear this wave, unsuccessful at defending the inhibitor.
And it all has to be 4v5, because the only thing Doran can do is split push.
Yeah, he can't fight. And Vikla is just going to take this turret out. BNK, once again, just like game 2, playing it slow, not willing to give T1 the opportunity to get back into this game, to find an angle to engage.
Well, we're going to move Doran in. Does have that home guard as he's booking it towards the rest of his team. Faker going to get engaged on, but no charm going to land. That's a great interruption once again. Every wild growth has been great here from Carrier. Just hasn't been enough. The Maiden going to be taking out more money over to BNK. Another charm is going to go wide as the Scion also goes wide. Has to flash away, kick into the Flame Chompers. It's kind of cute as Kellen gets a headbutt. But T1, yes, they're beating them around, and Clear will go down. But it's in trade immediately, both top laners. And Diablo loves this kind of craziness. As the Orbit Deception comes in, and now BNK with some free time. That charm going to land as Owner goes down. And BNK, I think they've done it. The Nexus is exposed, and Diablo keeping them on the fountain. And will be able to take down the Nexus. BNK, take out T1.
An absolute upset here. We saw Guma return